Righty patrons, this might be the maddest this week at United that I've ever done. I am shooting in our new studio. Obviously this is the new background that we're going to be using for Devils, but I've got it in here now, so I'm using it. I've got a little bit of foam around, so I'm hoping it's reduced the echo just a little bit because I can hear myself. It's probably the ceiling, to be honest, but there's not a lot I can do about it. All the soundproofing that we've got, like literally stuff like this, is going to be going in like next week. So as soon as all this is started to be in, I'm going to be moving this backdrop into next door where all the soundproofing is going in, and probably start filming in there on a bit more of a regular basis. So I've had to write notes. There's my notes for this. I'm probably end up reading all of these, and actually there's a few more lines below what you can actually see there as well, because I'm so confused at what I'm hearing. Now, I know I do get told insider information occasionally at United. It's not as often as I would like, obviously. I would love to fucking know what's going on, but most of the time there's maybe only 2 people who truly know what's going on. So let's get into this then. So what I will say is that a bit of a note that a lot of the stuff that I get told happens, a lot of the stuff that I get told doesn't happen, which often makes you look like a dick, regardless of the subject. The only time I've ever really properly stuck my neck out was twice, and I got burnt both times. First of those was Memphis, when he said he was going Everton. And Memphis was the source. And that didn't happen, clearly. And that was like last January, I think it might have been. And the second one was Morata coming to United. Now, he said it was going to be happening by the weekend. I get a message from Ander Herrera's agent. That was who my source was. He was on holiday at the time. Ander was on holiday at the time, and him and Morata, obviously international teammates, was chatting to each other back and forth. And Morata told Herrera that he was coming and he expected it to be done by a weekend. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, I think it was. I got the text at 10:45, and I went live on Full Time Devils at 11, and I dropped it in there on Full Time Devils that I've been told I expect Morata to be a United player by weekend, because that was what I was getting told. And I'm getting told because, you know, I've got a relationship with one of the agents, and he's like, I think you'll find that interesting. He's not even a United fan, he's a Watford fan. Didn't happen. The next day, United had basically announced that we'd signed Lukaku, or we'd reached an agreement with Everton, I think was what came out the next day. So that's when you see me say stuff like, Lukaku's United's first choice, because we dragged out the Morata deal on and on and on and on and on. And the night before, he was telling people it'd be done by weekend, and then the Lukaku announcement happens. So United played him, which is the nightmare when you think there's an international pair of teammates here. They're talking. He's like, yeah, it's all on. He's agreed. I don't know if he's shaved his hair red. I have no info on that. But you know, you're getting the eyes off him. Like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You think, fucking hell. If the player himself thinks it's happening, and I trust the agent, it's happening, innit? Obviously not. Yeah, we signed the Lukaku we signed Lukaku the next day. There was another time I had my pants down actually, and that was with Tony Cruz at the end of the Moyes season. I was in the away end at Southampton. I was chatting to a club director. Club director said to me, United are going to sign Tony Cruz and Luke Shaw this summer. And I was excited about Luke Shaw. I was fucking very excited. Who was the other one? He said 3. There was 3. I think the third one might have been Daley Blind. But he said Tony Cruz is one of them. This has eventually come out since, where Lou Van Gaal has said, and I think Tony Cruz has said I was going to United, and then Lou Van Gaal pulled the deal. But you think when a club director tells you that's who's signing, and this is a guy that's involved in the director of sponsorships, I'm not sure if that's his exact title, but he's one of the directors involved in the sponsorship acquisition. He knows what's going on. Didn't happen. Never went public with that one. I just told all my mates, who then called me a dick when it don't come off. And you're like, at the time, it was going to happen. There was another time when Cesc Fabregas' agent told us, Darren Dean, that Cesc was going to be Moyes' first signing in the summer of Moyes dithering signing him. And I don't know what happened with that, but his agent thought that was going to be Moyes' first signing. That was when I was writing with MUFC Latest, and I put that out there and said Moyes is going to be signing Fabregas. Didn't fucking happen. And there's been loads of things that have happened along those sort of lines where it's just not come off. So what I'm saying is, it's hard to get this shit correct. Most of the time, I will be dealing with, and even like the journals and things like that, they'll be dealing with one guy. And that one guy is going to come to them and he's going to say, this is happening. But because you're not getting it from, even if you got it from Mourinho might not know the mind of the player. We've been played by players in the past. That's definitely happened. where the player will say, yeah, I'm coming. You know, it's happened with Fergie, and then they go and sign somewhere else. So there's not really many people who can give you, here's for definite what's happening. Even if you spoke to Mourinho and he was honest with you, which is mega unlikely, Mourinho might say, look, I'm trying to sign these players, I think these are agreed. If they come off, that's who I'm going for. But you don't know what the other agent wants, you don't know what the other player wants, you don't know what the other club wants, you don't know if Woodward's going to, do you know what, you want an extra $1 million for Perisic, not prepared to pay that, so yeah, you're not getting Perisic. So even if you spoke to Jose Mourinho last summer, he might have said, yeah, I think we're going to get Griezmann, I think we're going to get Perisic, I think we're going to get Lukaku. There might have been a defender that we was in for that we didn't get. We don't know, do we? So it's hard for anybody to have a complete picture of what's happening. Even if there's someone who's got a link with an agent on this side and the club on the other side, or the manager on the other side, it's really difficult. The likes of Castles and that get a lot of information by being Jose Mourinho's mouthpiece, and he can only go off what Jose Mourinho tells him. If he says, oh, we're going to sell Daley Blind to Ajax in the summer, so he writes it, he doesn't know if Ajax want that player. Ajax might be playing us and somebody else. We might be the second choice, or Daley Blind might be the second choice, and someone else might be their first choice. To get the first choice, don't want Daley Blind. That's the nature of these negotiations. It's so difficult to find out. What doesn't help the matters, and I'm going to get into this in a bit, is how confusing and conflicting the stuff. When stuff comes at you that's conflicting, you have to sort of have to think about it. And I've had to write this down just to try and make sense of it, and it still doesn't make sense. So you might want to take notes on this, or not, but whatever. I'm going to just tell you what I'm being told and see if you can fucking figure it out, because honestly, I don't know what's going on. Right then, so in November last year I got a text saying Jose Mourinho is going to PSG in the summer, as in this summer, as in like in 3 months' time. I went and found the text, it was a WhatsApp message actually. I went and found that, and yep, there it was. And I've had a read of the conversation back and forth about what was going to happen and this, that and the other. And it's interesting reading, going back on that conversation with that. Now, the guy that told me that is someone that's at United. Where am I? So obviously, about the shit I mentioned earlier, I'm a bit more cautious about putting that sort of stuff out publicly, especially with a manager, because you don't know what's going to happen. PSG could have gone and won the Champions League this year, quite simply, they could have done. And if they had done, would they have wanted to get rid of the manager? Would they have wanted a new manager to come in? That can have changed, couldn't it? So yeah, I went back through my WhatsApp stuff and found the conversation between PSG and Mourinho. And then I guess we started to win games because it was all forgotten about. And the guy that told me that, I've spoken to since, and he's never really brought it up again. So I don't know if someone fed it him, and I don't know. And that's what makes this so confusing, is I've been told a lot, and a lot of it conflicts with what I've been told, and now I'm just really confused. So obviously a few videos ago when I mentioned that when Pogba was out for a Huddersfield game, he wasn't actually injured, and there has been a falling out with Pogba and Mourinho. He also wasn't injured on Saturday for Liverpool. I know Carrick and Pogba have spoken to Jose about the way the team was set up in the past. Carrick, I'm assuming, more as a holistic reason because he's not really playing. Pogba specifically about the role that he plays within that team, which I think we can probably all guess without even being in the conversation about what was going on with that. Jose told him to sling it. Now, I support the manager in these situations because I can't imagine how difficult a job it is to manage the egos of 25, 26 international millionaires. So he has to do, Jose's going to be doing, now whether we agree or we disagree, Jose's going to be doing what he sees as his vision for what's best for the team. I am absolutely certain of that, which makes his job difficult. So you have to back the manager against this. The problem is player power is fucking enormous. Managers are expendable, players have a resale value. So sometimes the board is going to back the players, and you see that at clubs all the time, and that's when they start to fall apart. So I think what Jose's doing is difficult, but I also have to think that Michael Carrick's not going to rock the boat without just cause. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. It doesn't justify what Pogba did, or what I'm hearing Pogba did against Huddersfield, if that's what he did. But he did what he did, and there's obviously more to this falling out. Now, what makes this even more complicated is Pogba is a massive part of that dressing room, loved by pretty much the entire team. Because he speaks multiple languages, can go right across the Spanish clique, the English clique, the academy clique. He can go across everything, and he's liked by all of them. So when you pick, and it's probably acknowledged by most of them as being the best player in the football team as well. So when you alienate that one player, or you start to be overly harsh on that one player, now that's me talking. If you're alienating that player, Jose might have a plan for it, and his plan might be the same thing that he tested Luke Shaw publicly, he tested Marshall publicly, he's tested all these players. Some of them have passed the test, some of them have failed the test. Is Pogba passing or failing the test? I don't know. Is the test even a thing, or is it a literal falling out which happens to everyone at work? Now, the problem is, the little handshake where Pogba saw him out when he was in front of the camera didn't seem like an act. It seemed genuine. Now, Pogba seems like a sound guy, so whether he's had a personal falling out with Mourinho, maybe he can be the bigger guy and go and congratulate the manager on winning against Liverpool, knowing what it means to everybody. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Pogba wants to put it out there because he saw the cameras there and he's saying, this isn't me being a dick. Maybe that's the case. Again, I don't know. I'm merely speculating on that aspect of it. So the result was, at the end of all of that, Jose and Pogba have fell out. And there is some talk that the players in the dressing room are no longer playing for Jose because of this thing with Pogba. He's maybe picked on the wrong guy this time, is the sort of word that you're hearing. Obviously, mega close friends with Rashford and Lingard, and that's going to spread him throughout the team. So post the Sevilla game, obviously I've been talking to a lot of people in the club, mostly just asking what's the feeling? How's the lads feeling? What's the mood and stuff like that? And the mood is the lads are fucking devastated. The lads weren't happy with the team, weren't happy with the tactics, wanted to attack a bit more, but was instructed to do what they did and didn't really carry it out. And I got a text out of the blue, not from the first guy that told me PSG and Mourinho was something on the cards back in November. This was a different guy, and the text said, you're going to see PSG and Jose linked in the press next week. And he said, and there's something in it. This is a connected guy. So my play on all of this, whenever I get this sort of rumour, I treat it as rumour most of the time from the people that tell me stuff. I say, how should I talk about it? Basically, don't make me look like a prick, mate. Give me the lowdown. How's this playing out? What's going on here? I'd got wind that Jose was coming before Van Gaal went. So if you watch some of my videos, in fact, there's a couple of videos on my YouTube channel which actually say, Jose's the next United manager. Read between the fucking lines, right? So a lot of the time, my play on this is, how should I react to this? You'll have seen when the Rashford... I'm always pretty down the middle. Arsenal fans tried to clip me up the other day saying that I said we was going to get to the semi-final. I didn't. I said United need to go for it and we can beat anybody in the quarter-finals. That's not like that other fucking length, is it? Saying, quote me on this, Sanchez isn't leaving. I never talk like that. I never talk in certainties unless I have a certainty, and most of the things in life are not certain. One thing I know is that when the Rashford stuff was coming out, he needs to go on loan, he's not happy, all that lot. When you hear me say, that's bullshit, it's because that's bullshit. It's not, in my opinion, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. So if you see me go hard on something like that or go certain on something, it's because I've got a bit of an inside track on something along those lines. Otherwise, you'll see me say what I always say, which is, I don't fucking know. And I'll tell you, if I don't fucking know, I don't fucking know. So yeah, my play on all of it is like, don't make me look like an idiot. What's the crack here? So I can start maybe putting it out there as speculation. Well, you know, that could happen, maybe. Maybe that comes in, maybe that's a player we should look at. And that's how I treat it. Because I don't want to be getting fucking clipped up left, right and centre saying, here's what's happening. If I don't know that's what's happening. So you don't see me saying shit like that. So this guy says to me, you're going to hear it. And he says, there's a bit of truth in it. And you're like, fuck's sake. Now, he told me that there's a chance Jose's going meeting them during the international break. But here's where, me personally... Hang on one sec. Come here. Come here. We're in our new gaff. The dog's not used to the noises from the people upstairs, so he's gone back. Hey, shut up. Shut up. So, here's what I don't quite believe with this guy. He says, there's talk of a meeting during the international break. If Jose goes to London, he'll be there meeting Paris, PSG. If he stays in Manchester, there's probably nought in it. But if he goes to London, he thinks that he's going to be meeting PSG there during the international break. Now, you go, fuck me, that's a bit of juice. But in reality, his family live in London. So you're going to tell me when we've got a weekend off, he's not going to go to London. So I don't know if this guy's setting me up to go, oh shit, there's something in this here. So I'm not believing it. Not believing the whole thing of what he's saying there. Now, he might be correct that, yeah, look, there's something in it. You're going to see it in the press. We already have seen it in the press. But if he goes to London during a weekend off, he's not going to go and see his family. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. If he stays here, then he stays here, doesn't he? But, I mean, let's hope that... I mean, I don't want to see him going having meetings while he's employed by United. But if he goes to London and the speculation kicks off, I want there to be evidence. I want him to be, like, spotted in a fucking hotel somewhere having a meeting with someone. Because then I can go, all right, there was something in that. But if he just goes to London, like his family's in London, his kids are in London, I'm not going to buy it unless I see that, like a hotel meeting or some shady shit like that going on. If his agent happens to be in London, I think that might be I think that's more of a thing. He's not going to have a meeting with another football club without Mendes being there. So maybe if Mendes is in London at the same time, coincidentally, or if he fucks off to Paris on the train with his wife, maybe that's a bit fucking on top. But just if he goes to London in like next weekend, I'm not fucking buying that at all. Right, let's try and find my place here. Add all into this, what was going to be in this video is that on the back of the falling out was Pogba was going to Madrid and Cruz was coming here. Now, the Cruz coming here one is one I've heard for a little bit, so I'm not really like getting mega excited about that. I am excited about it, but I'm not going mad with it. Cruz to United is something that's always on the cards. Maybe we're scouting him. Maybe we're actually talking to him. There was a lot of talk through various different people that it ain't working with Pogba and Jose, and a couple of people were saying one of them's not going to fucking be here come summer. Which is potentially bad news either way, isn't it? Because if Jose's going and he knows he's going, is shit like Tuesday night on purpose? If he knows Pogba's going, is shit like Tuesday night on purpose where he leaves him on the bench when he's actually fit? It's not fucking good when it ain't plain sailing, is it? When there's these question marks, I don't fucking like it. Right. We need to talk about the Glazers for this last point to really make a lot of sense. So, a bit back, there was a guy close to Jose that was talking to me about the things that Jose's not entirely happy with at United. Reeled off this and that, reeled off this and that. One of the things he was suggesting is that the Glazers don't really care for winning, per se, as much as fans do. We exist to watch our football team win. The Glazers are more than likely going to be happy with mediocrity. Top 4 finishes. The Arsenal model. You can fulfill your sponsorships, you play in the Champions League, it makes money, it pays off their debt. Not our debt, their debt. To stay competitive in the top 4, might cost us 150 million a season. Not a fucking problem. Not with a TV revenue. The difference being, to make us into a Champions League winning side, to make us into a title winning side, it might cost 300-400 million. Now that's a figure I've just pulled out my ass. But that's the reality, innit? It might cost 300-400 million to make us into a true fucking banging squad. And I do worry that some of the Glazer signings and things that they've signed off on is because that they know there's a commercial value to him. Was Pogba signed because he was the best player for United, or was he signed because he's a very, very good player, 8 out of 10 player for United, and he's also got the commercial side of stuff? I think it was probably, he is the best player that we could have got, but also we don't mind spending a world record for him because we know we're going to get it back commercially. Why are we prepared to spend what we spent in terms of sacrificing Mkhitaryan and the transfer fee we paid for Mkhitaryan to get Sanchez on a free in January, but we wasn't prepared to pay an extra couple of million for Perisic in the summer? Is it because Sanchez has a better commercial value in South America? And Perisic is a Croatian no one's ever heard of, realistically, in the grand scheme of things? When I look at United and City signing, I see the commercial aspect of a lot of what United have signed. When I look at City signing, they're astute signings. They're players they needed. They're players that fit a role or a job. And I think that's the difference when you've got a director of football and when you've got a money man like Woodward. So yeah, the top four thing is a big thing for me. So the top four thing is linked in with who next. So my thought on Pochettino is he's not won anything. We can't go for potential at the moment when we're trying to win stuff. Now, he might come to United, love what he's got, add a couple of key signings he thinks he needs, and be able to win something if he comes to United. Pochettino is the one that I think United want. I don't think there's any coincidence of why Fergie went and met him before Jose was announced. I think it was a case of, hold tight, we're going to get you when he goes. That's my thought. And the Glazers are going to be happy with top four, and they'll think that the fans are placated because he plays youth and he plays attractive football. So Poch could be the guy coming in on the back end of that. But to have another fucking spanner into the mix and to make my head look like a fucking set of CSI with fucking lines and pictures and stuff going everywhere, the guy that told me you're going to see some stuff with Jose and PSG this week also said that United are eyeing up Zidane as a replacement. I've gone, fuck. Well, it's a big name. Tactically, he's getting there. He's proved himself winning back-to-back Champions Leagues. Can see why the Glazers want him. No. It proper stumped me because for the last couple of months I've had that conversation with other people talking about what the Glazers want and how Poch is being lined up to eventually replace Mourinho whatever day that comes on. And now I've got another guy saying, you know, we're going to be looking at Zidane. So that's really it. It's a mad, confusing, fucking depressing time, really. Because nothing I've got there is happy news. I'd love to be able to sit here and say, oh, we're fucking signing Messi. Sending Ashley Young the other way. But there's something amiss with Jose, clearly. There's something amiss with him and Pogba, and I'd be devastated to see Pogba go. Because I think in the right position, or potentially under the right man, Paul Pogba is a phenomenal fucking footballer, one of the best in the world. He's a shade under Ballon d'Or winner at the moment. He's that good for me. The forward six we've got, incredible. The fucking defence is shocking, but if you can get more players of Bay's mould in there, I think we've got a hell of a team. You know, on the surface of stuff, there's been a lot of progress. We've been better in the league. It's the first time I think we've got 20 victories under our belt since post-Fergie. That's improvement. That's literal improvement. The last time we did it, we was champions. We didn't progress in the Champions League to where I expected we should have got to. Not that I'm saying we'd have got to the quarters and I'd have been happy to lose, but do you know what I mean? We did get to the knockout stages and put in two shite performances. We can still win the FA Cup this season. You'd have to say on the surface of stuff it's improvement, but it don't feel like it. The supporter unrest is real, and for me, because I know a lot of you just want to know my thoughts on Mourinho, you'll never see me screaming sack a manager unless it's got horrifically bad. It's not my style, I don't do that. This is a big job that needs patience. But Tuesday night was strike one. Strike one, partly because of the performance, but largely because of the stuff he said in the press conference. And I think the stuff he said in the press conference was fucking bullshit. I've seen some people trying to mitigate it, and I have taken into consideration Jose does like to deflect away from bad defeats, put it all on himself. But you can't sit there, do it a different way. You can't sit there and say the things he said and expect supporters to take them well. This is a problem I have with Jose. It's us versus Jose and then everybody else. It should be fucking us together. Piss people off, say something mad, call a referee a cunt, say UEFA are dirty cheating bastards, say Barcelona took fucking performance enhancing drugs and you should check Pep Guardiola and all the City teams pissed. Say something like that, that's going to be absolutely mental. Don't piss the supporters off, mate, because we're the ones that fucking help you get victories. We're the ones that are standing there in the crowd. We're the ones that are paying our fucking money. And we're the ones that have to put up with this shit. Don't alienate us. That's my feeling. It's going to be a crazy couple of months, I think. I'm obviously trying to keep digging. But I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. And that is the God's honest truth to you. I have no idea about any of that. Not saying any of that's going to happen. Not saying any of that's not going to happen. Literally just telling you, that's what I'm hearing, and I can't make sense of it. Now you lot have a go. There's fucking 100 odd of you now. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for joining the Patreon group. I'll give you another little tour around in here if this all holds together. So I am now using this little bit of IKEA furniture here to mount this background. We've got 2 desks now and a whiteboard. I've just been clearing up from the party we had in here. There's still a load of beer left. And obviously the dog's there chilling in the corner. So it's starting to take shape a little bit in here. It's still proper echoey, as you can tell. But it'll soon be sorted. And had a load of good meetings yesterday about different things for different content and things like that. And if they all go to plan, then it's going to be an exciting summer. And we could have some really good brand deals coming. So that was literally why we got this place. So thanks for your support. Let me know in the comments, fucking hell, what you think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.